If you could have any superpower in real life, what would you choose and why?
I would change it to someone else and turn into Trump and say really nice things.
I think I would like to teletransport because I travel so much. That would be amazing
so
to
much
just
time.
like come be here and then.
Take me to Tokyo.
Exactly.
Take me to London.
I would fly. Teleportation. Ooh. Fly with fly. I'd say fly.
Both kind of variations of the same superpower, you
I feel
could
like
say.
I'd be too afraid of height. Like even if I could fly, I would only fly like a, you know.
You just kind of hover along a
two
little
stories
bit.
or something. But any more than that, I would be like, no.
How does it feel to finally be a part of the X-Men family? It's something a lot of people dream of. You guys are living it. How does it feel?
Awesome.
It's awesome.
It's really nice. It's really cool, and especially because the fan base for this type of film, they're so amazing because they know so much about the characters because they read the comics.
I also love what the mutants represent in our world would be the outcasts, you know, people that are just different by nature. Our representation in our world, being from Brazil, going abroad, doing what we do, we face things that these characters have faced. It's really interesting to have that dynamic on screen, playing someone else with different problems that you can relate to. What I love about the mutants.
New Mutants is obviously quite a dark twist in comparison to the previous X-Men movies. How difficult was it taking the film in a new direction to what's been done before?
Well, I mean, the comics themselves sort of dictated the genre. This is very much based on Bill Sienkiewicz's run with Chris Claremont for New Mutants, based on something called Demon Bear, which a lot of X-Men fans would know what that was. But those comics are very dark and surreal and nightmarish. We just liked them. They were just very different. And Fox, I think, was emboldened by the success of Deadpool and Logan to let us
Love Deadpool.
try to do something different.
It's good being able to do something different because a lot of the superhero films nowadays, they're all really light-hearted and comedic, and whilst that's great for people, I'm a really, really big horror fan. So seeing a type of film that's turning into a thriller and a horror with all of the superhero elements is just amazing.
Just like what you were saying, like, you know, we're all joking about what powers we would like to have. Because it's like you always fantasize, oh, if I had superpowers, but we kind of try to approach it from the tact of like, if you were actually a teenager and then suddenly developed some sort of mutant power, it would probably be terrifying. You know, more so than like, oh, I'm gonna become a superhero. It would be like, what is this awful thing I've been cursed with?
Yeah,
know?
as if puberty isn't bad enough, add in some
Right.
powers into them. It's
Exactly, like
nightmare.
you're already dealing with so much at that age and everything, and to discover that about yourself and that you're some sort of like freak of nature and everything, that sort of helps separate it from
Everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it is a horror movie, but it is also a superhero movie. It's just hidden inside of a horror movie.
I think they both go very well hand in hand, and it'll be interesting to see if this paves the way for other similar movies in the future.
We hope so, yeah, and we have a lot of big plans for this series to do much more in the next one and the one after.
When you were filming, what was the biggest obstacle that you faced taking it in a new direction, or just the story itself? What was the biggest obstacle for you?
Well, when we spent a couple of years writing the script before I went and shot the movie, we worked on it for 2 or 3 years, I think. So it's just the process you go through with a studio on any project this size, and when you're trying to do something new for the first time. So it was just trying to figure out the best way to tell this story.
If you could be any of the X-Men characters, from New Mutants or the previous films, which one would you be?
Magic. I mean, not only be a girl, but I'd be Magic.
It's fine, it could be gender
She's
neutral.
Awesome, 'cause Magic's awesome.
I guess Wolverine, but more for the healing.
You just keep the blades in.
Yeah.
You just kind of bring them out for a party trick every now and then?
Or if you're cooking.
What is it that first made you want to get involved with this project?
I was a big fan of director Josh Boone's. When he called me, I was just really excited to get to work with someone that I could see that was an amazing director for actors, and also having someone like him directing a genre film, and actually kind of 2 genre films. One side is like a dark horror film, and the other side is like X-Men, superhero world. So the combination of it was very exciting.
I've known this guy since we were little babies.
Oh,
Our
wow.
moms are best friends. So we spent our entire childhood reading comics, and we had our own comic book company. So we would write and draw comics together. And we loved Marvel Comics. So we've been interested in this property really since we were kids.
We made like a long comic book pitch for the idea that
We made like a comic book for Fox.
You actually made a comic book yourself? That's incredible. Not many people can say that they've done that.
Yeah, that's how we kind of sold them on the idea to go do this trilogy of New Mutants films that all were different horror genres.
Don't forget to give a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video.